All right, guys, we're back. Pit Chatter Podcast here. Not live from the racetrack again this week. Still got some things going on at the racetrack. Kind of takes us away from being able to record there, but that's okay. We're safe and sound here in the Copper Hill Studios, Race22.com headquarters. A little makeshift studio, a.k.a. my desk in my office. Keeping the kids quiet, keeping the dogs quiet. Trying to have a good podcast here for you, but we're back for episode 4 here. Going to try to give you a little bit of information. I'm Langley Austin, host of this show, and the promoter of Franklin County Speedway. And alongside of me is my wife, Kimberly Austin, head scorer at the track. Whatever she does, whatever. Whatever I'm not going to do, she's doing that job and takes care of all that. We've got a real family affair at the track, and Kimberly's a big part of that.
I'm just there to pick up whatever slack needs picked up.
No, that's good. I mean, I'm sure I'll leave a lot, so that's a good thing. Anyways, let's dive right on in here. Last week we talked about the schedule quite a bit. Still don't have all of our divisions and stuff out yet. It's not really a big deal. I mean, they know March 2nd and March 30th what we're doing. We'll kind of fill in April. April's going to be much the same with the same divisions, late models, mini stock, stock 4s, and legends cars going at it in April for both the 13th and the 27th date. And then in May, we got a little bit of a shake-up of things. Smart Tour comes in on May 24th. Really looking forward to the Smart Tour. Talking to some people today. Even had an email from a guy in Illinois, I believe, who wanted to have some information about the Smart Tour race. He's planning a trip to Franklin County Speedway, so we're looking forward to having him and all the modified guys and fans there. That's a whole different crowd when those guys come in. Not just from the people in the infield, but the people in the grandstands are just a totally different bunch.
Yeah, we have people that come in through the grandstands on the Smart Modified Tour night, and they've never been there, and they're like, well, where do we go from here? Well, you follow this road, and you park where you see everybody else parking.
Yeah. For those of you who don't typically go to Franklin County Speedway, welcome to the show, 1. But 2, if you pull up to Franklin County Speedway, it's not like most racetracks. Most racetracks, you pull up, you park somewhere, you get out, you go to a ticket booth or a sign-in booth or whatever, whether you're going in the pits or the grandstands, and then you get your stuff and you go through the gate and whatever. Well, Franklin County Speedway is kind of a more old-school layout. You pull up, you pull in the road, come down the road. We've got a little setup there right in the road where we take and sell tickets and pit passes all in the same spot. And, you get everything there and you come on in and go whichever way you need to go. And it's kind of, the layout's a lot more open than most racetracks. So you can actually drive all the way around the racetrack. You can drive from what is turn 4 where you come in all the way back to turn 3 area. There's a little bit of wooded area there in between turns 3 and 4. Keeps you from going there, but kind of a unique layout. Something that we've looked at altering in some capacities, making parking a little more normalized for events. But we're working on that going forward. I don't anticipate seeing that anytime in the next month or 2.
I was going to say the ease of, just letting them pull up and after they pay for their ticket or their wristband, letting them go do their thing is a whole lot easier than having parking people and this and that.
There's benefits to both. There's business-wise, fan-wise, and otherwise. There are benefits to doing it both ways. We've always kind of had trackside type parking there. Never charged for it in the past. We're planning on this year having trackside parking to where you'll be able to reserve a spot for the season. We don't have those laid out yet, so we don't have those for sale yet, but there'll be several different spots, and we're really working on the back straightaway, to have more and more spots available for trackside parking and opening up a couple other spots there, where you can reserve your space, and you come on in, bring your grill with you, do whatever you got to do, and enjoy your night at the races. a lot of racetracks, Southern National, we've been down there a bunch, Southern National, Kingsport, Caraway, all got some good trackside parking spaces. Looking to make more, for us going forward.
And people really like the ease that they can just pull up to their spot, sit there, get their grill out, have their cooler. They ain't got to go nowhere. They're just there for a good time.
100%. I think that's today. I think we're and that's why changing the way that parking is and stuff is something we're looking at for going forward, because the way the fan amenities and the things that they want are different than they were in 1980 when the heyday of this racetrack. I guess the layout was a little more normal back then. I was born in 1982, so I don't really know much about the 80s other than seeing pictures. So I have to rely on people older than me to tell me how great it was, or show me how great it was, and indeed it was. But we're in the process of making our own great times here. Been out working, selling sponsorships. Got a couple people out there selling sponsorships, and the marketing team is alive and well, visiting businesses. Hopefully, if you own a business, we'll be by to see you soon. Announced this week that we have the Stock 4 division available to sponsor. No Rest Farms, Lauren Yoder came on board last year to sponsor the division, but has a little change in what he's planning on doing. He's planning on doing some stuff with us at the track. It just couldn't commit right now, so we're gonna have a new naming rights sponsor on the Stock 4 division. If you're out there listening, you got a business. I promise you that is the way to go. That's probably the best
division.
Sponsorship. That is the best racing. We talk about it over and over. That is the best racing we've got. That is the best group of guys overall that we've got. They all love each other. They all hate each other. They're all willing to wreck each other and beat and bang each other. Not really wreck. I shouldn't say wreck, because they don't wreck a lot. They just they make you think you're going to have 37 cautions when you only have like 3. That's just how hard these guys are racing. And
unlike the mini stock division, where we do have 57 cautions,
man, those guys, the mini stocks, and you're hard on them here, but the mini stocks, they're tough sometimes. They've been a thorn in my side over the last couple of years, because that it seems like when we don't have a lot of cars, they all blow up, and when we do have a lot of cars, they all wreck. There's no in between for those guys. But, it is what it is. Looking forward, our first event of the year, we talk about the races, but, the first event of the year is the 2023 Awards Banquet. That's coming up February 24th. And that's kind of one of the things that I wanted to, talk about back and forth with you tonight. A lot of people don't understand, the banquet. They go, oh, man, you're just going there to get championship trophies. And, how boring could that be? Noah told you, a couple episodes ago how great the banquet is and how entertaining it is and all of that. And it is. And part of the reason it is because unlike a lot of racetracks, they come in there and they give out their, plaques and their trophies and their things. And, it's just stuffy and boring, and they're all dressed up, and that's cool enough. If that's what your thing is, that's cool. I'm not downing you in any way, shape, or form, but that's not what we do.
That's not our banquet at all.
Franklin County Speedways is a little different. Most people could probably tell you that, and we do things differently. And our banquet is a lot of fun. And I'll just read you a couple of the names of the awards that we give out that aren't, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, whatever place. And they are not the Rookie of the Year or whatever. But, we get the Big Bully Award, the Big Cheater Award, the Peak Cool Move of the Year Award. Peak Cool, that's old 80s, 90s, NASCAR thing. Determination Award, DMV Safe Driver, which, just in case you're wondering, they're not actually a safe driver. Got some others, Hard Luck and Goody's Headache, another old NASCAR, throwback thing. The Instigator of the Year, Loudmouth of the Year, the Lucky Duck, person who got the luckiest throughout the season. That might be lucky because they didn't wreck, might be lucky because they didn't get their butt whipped, whatever it is. We also have the DMV Reckless Driver Award, which somehow is basically the same as the DMV Safe Driver Award. We just needed another award for another person who wasn't that safe. Mr. Microphone, Spin to Win, sportsmanship, goodwill, the Private Eye Award. Old Randy Winningham last year picking up the Private Eye Award. The Virginia is for Racing Lovers Award, which they do not sponsor, by the way. They should. But all of our stuff is in jest. It's in we go to the banquet to have a good time. What's Kim? I'll bring you in a little bit here. What's we all enjoy the banquet, but what's your favorite part of the banquet?
My favorite part of the banquet is watching when people walk in expecting one thing, and then they get in there and they see how much work has been put into it, and they're like, "Oh man, this is amazing."
Yeah, I think because we're a little rough around the edges. They expect a little more redneckery than we actually provide. Our banquet's really nice. We go all out. We've got a nice venue that we've been using, the Pig River Community Center in Rocky Mount, Virginia, just about 15 miles from the racetrack. That's been that's last year's first year we've been in there. Great venue, made my life simpler. We go in there last year to set up and do all the work, and it's already done. The guy said, "Yeah, I got that done for you." So it's really cool. And
the help that's there was wonderful.
Yep.
I mean, all of our tables, our chairs, he wanted to go over and beyond whatever we needed.
Yep, they take real good care. And we didn't use all of the amenities last year. They've got a screen, and we can connect to that. And we're hoping to, have some graphics and maybe some videos and things, that we can add to that. And, maybe they want us to improve on the music selection from last year. He plugged his music up because we didn't bring anything. You know what I mean? We didn't know, we weren't prepared. So we're kind of working, getting better there. But our banquet's a good time, great food. I ain't trying to sell anybody on it. I mean, if you want to come to the banquet, come to the banquet. If you don't, you're missing out on a great time. I tell you, my favorite part of the banquet is the end of the night. Everybody, no alcohol is allowed, but everybody's a little tipsy. And everybody's had a great time and enjoyed themselves there, and it's so much fun to see how happy people are at the end of the night. You got their awards and they're getting their photos taken. And Sharon Kirby was our photographer last year. She did a great job at the banquet. Unfortunately, she's not going to be the photographer this upcoming year, and I'm not sure who's shooting the banquet this year. But hopefully somebody we'll have somebody good there shooting the banquet and giving us photos from that, because that's a really good time and a really good thing to have some good memories of.
And one of my favorites is the moonshine toast.
Yep.
For all the champions.
Up 21 and above.
21 and above, of course.
We've got a few youngsters who have won title. I don't think anybody this year is under 21.
I don't think so.
I don't. Some women, they claim their ages are younger than they are. So Angie Campbell may be 20, 21 or younger. I'm not 100% sure based on that. My mom, I'm 41. She's been 29 for the last 50 years. So but that's just the way things are. But talking about these awards a minute ago, what you have a favorite award that kind of you think catches people off guard, and everybody's on pins and needles to know whether, and most of them may be hoping they're not that or what.
The Loudmouth Award. I think that's the one that people sit around and they're like, okay, am I gonna get this, or was there somebody more obnoxious than I was?
Yeah, Trey Cooper was the first male to, well, if he's male, I'm not 100% sure. First male to win it last year. It had been women before that, Tangi Bush and I believe Angie Austin, Angie Caldwell. Whatever. She got the 47 names. Her and Dennis might still be married. I ain't sure. Whatever. Everybody that goes to the banquet or comes to the racetrack knows who I'm talking about. But and knows why they got the mouth loud. Man, I am
Loud Mouth
I am
Award.
tongue twisted today. But I'm struggling. Maybe we should turn this over to Kim. She's been crystal clear, which is, scary in itself.
That don't happen very often.
Loudmouth. So who do you think could be up for the Loudmouth Awards this year?
There's so many of them. Not one of them's going to spit out my mouth this evening.
I mean, I got a couple. Tyler Ashley never shuts the hell up.
Now, if anybody deserves it, it's Tyler Ashley 100%.
You know, T.J. Smith never shuts up.
Still think Tyler's got him beat.
Yeah, Josh Phillips. You know,
Well, Josh Phillips, Tyler, Ashley, they're teammates.
teammates, twin brothers. You know, whatever. There's some good ones. Obviously Trey, but we got him in the pace car, so he's a lot quieter today than he was as a racer. So hopefully he didn't earn that award this year. I don't think anybody's ever won it back to back.
No.
And I don't think he'll win it consecutively this year. We haven't sat down and divvied out all those awards yet. Who's the big cheater for the year?
Did we have cheaters?
Oh Lord, did we have cheaters? Even me. I'm part-time promoter. I was full-time tech man last year, and that's a horrible job for me. I don't know anything about cars. I don't know anything about rules, but I can read. You know what I mean? I can read, a rule book, and I can read a tape measure, and I can read scales and stuff like that. So I did okay in the tech department. Kept the stock fours on their toes. Not as good in the other divisions, but we had a couple disqualifications in the stock fours. Wes, I believe, got disqualified twice. One for driving, one for camber. Corey Pack and Bobby Gillespie got
I was just
out.
getting ready to say, let's not forget our last race.
Yeah, during the leftovers at the end of the year there. I don't know. Big Cheater's going to be a good one. And there's some others. But Daniel Hudson, his spoiler earlier in the year, got tossed out for that. So there's no shortage of people who got disqualified throughout the year. Although, man, I will say, those stock four guys, I expected every week, just the way it was going at the beginning of the year, I'd find little things and just let's get this fixed. Let's clean this up. And I'd tell the whole division, hey, let's clean this up. If I find something, even if we got to alter a rule, say, hey, it doesn't say this, but this is what the rule is. You know what I mean? And, keeping them clean. Heck, I thought every week I was going to disqualify one of them guys, I'd go to check, camber and rear steer and the balance shaft delete. And
I think you kept them on their toes.
Yeah.
I think they knew that you were going to be looking at their division probably harder than anybody else, and they knew better.
Yeah, and I think this upcoming season, will be even more so. Donald Clay, a former stock four guy himself. He's worked on late models and mini stocks and stock fours and a little bit of everything. He's probably never worked on a Legends car, but I mean, they're pretty basic and their rule book's fantastic. They're fantastically written, very easy to follow. So Donald Clay will do a great job. I feel like he's a great step for us going forward here. We've built a really good staff. Going to miss Bobby Kirby. He was our stop and go guy and our main, pit road official. He's moved on to Dominion Raceway. Got an opportunity to be the flagman there. We're excited for him. Hate to lose him. Excited for him. But hopefully, we'll be able to have replacement in the infield for him. We got David Burnett and Ronnie Gibson and different people throughout the year on pit road. Different people coming in and out, pit road cleanup, crew. We're trying to narrow that down, get that. Are we racing a little bit less this year? Guys will be able to plan around and do some other things on our weeks off, so that'll help a lot. Jay Altizer in up top, calling the races.
He gets to sit up there with me during scoring.
Yeah, and Lauren Yoder was our race director at the beginning of last season and for the last few seasons, and he did a fantastic job. But when Jay came in, Jay's presence and his knowledge from working with NASCAR and just all the things from over the years and his time that he spent there at the track and his ability to focus on that. Lauren's so busy with his business and so there'd be times when we weren't exactly on the same page because we just didn't have time to get together. I'm busy trying to get the racetrack going. He's busy trying to keep his meat business and his farm stuff going and I think Jay coming in, Jay could focus a little bit more and I think that made a big difference It's both great race directors, but I feel like Jay's got us on a path now. Going with him and Donald Clay and these guys. We're headed in a good direction here. With the track and the tech and calling the races, and we're never going to be perfect. We're always going to make mistakes. These guys, I mean, I can tell you how great they are, but at the end of the day, they're human beings, and they're going to screw up, and so are the racers, and the fans are going to misunderstand, or they're going to understand perfectly, whatever the case is, and that's okay. We're all humans, and we're all learning, but we're excited about the upcoming season. Continue to talk about these awards a little bit before we head into the season. Who do you think the Goodies Headache Award goes to?
Tyler Ashley.
I mean, it's not intended to be an award for being a headache. It's intended to be an award for getting a headache.
Oh. Well,
I mean, he's gave many a headaches.
Yeah, he gives headaches.
I don't know that he gets any headaches. He's a pain in my, yeah.
And Tyler's a good kid. He really is. He's just got to learn to harness his lips a little bit.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah. Instigator. I mean, that's another one he falls into. Keyshawn.
Oh, Keyshawn for sure.
Talked to him today. He was already instigating stuff for 2024 on the phone today. Y'all will find out about all that, down the road here. But Keyshawn Clater, he's our he calls himself our token black kid. But he's a great racer. I call him Wendell Scott the third.
Wonderful person.
Does a great job.
Would do anything in the world for you. He's a wonderful person.
Yep, good kid. He's also up for instigator. You can't forget Wes Givens. He's an instigator, and he kind of does it, secretly. He goes to each person and tries to, instigate stuff. So got him in that role for sure. And there's other guys up and down pit road that are instigating stuff every week. One the mechanic of the year. That's one of my favorite awards. I'm not going to talk about who's up for that. But that's one of my favorite awards because, there's a lot of guys down there in the pits turning wrenches, and, you can only give it to one every year, but, they're always deserving.
And the mechanics that are down there, I mean, they give their all from the time they get there. They're turning wrenches, making sure that car is going as fast and as good as possible.
Lord, before they even get there, in the shop and all. Donald Clay got the award last year. Now he's coming in to be the tech guy. This upcoming year, 2024, he got it in 2022. So that was, it's I'm not. If the guy who gets it this year, turns out to be a tech man for us in the future, I mean that's good too. So, those guys that are good mechanics, they're good at cheating, and they make good tech men. I mean, that's where NASCAR gets all their tech men, is old crew chiefs and engineers and stuff like that. So
they're real good in the gray area.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about that. Reckless driver. Who you got? You're so timid about throwing people's names out here.
I am. And poor Tyler Ashley, I feel like I've thrown him under the bus tonight, but I ain't throwing no other names out.
Well, he's not up for this award. I'm going to tell you. Now, from that standpoint, Tyler is vastly improved.
Yes.
From last year to this year, vastly improved. Did a great job in Josh Phillips' car. We can quit talking about Tyler Ashley. And if we're going to talk about him as much, we need to just get him on the show.
Oh, Lord, I don't think everybody's ready for that.
I don't know if they are or not. And, the thing about it is, I don't even think he drinks. Like Noah, he was sober and, he was a little calmer. Tyler, I think, is just that way from the moment he wakes up. So.
Oh, my.
Yeah. So, another award, Lucky Duck. Who got the luckiest this year?
Anybody else that won in the stock 4 other than Wes?
You say that, but I was talking to somebody earlier, and Wes only won 17 races, and when I say only 17 races, that's a hard thing to say. There's 42 of them though, and the two drivers behind him, two drivers in wins behind him was Jaden Austin and Noah Hinchy, and they won 14 between the two of them, 8 and 6. Noah kind of dominated the early part of the season, and Jaden, I'm not going to say dominated the end of the season, but he took away a lot of wins from Wes at the end of the season.
He did. He really come into his own, and I mean, he was actually taking them. He wasn't just being pushed around.
Yeah, for sure. So I wouldn't call anybody in the Stock 4s lucky from that aspect. I mean, I think those guys really earned their victories, and Wes definitely makes you earn your wins. I don't think anybody got a free one this year. I mean,
I don't think.
And
so
we had a
either.
lot of winners. I think we had 10 winners in that division this year, and I expect, to be honest with you, I think we'll have more winners this upcoming season. I mean, just talking to people and knowing who's bought cars and what cars they bought and what they're doing and all that stuff, I feel like we're going to be it's going to be really good. It's going to be a really good
for
season
more
for the Stock
excitement.
4s. And I hate to keep just talking about the Stock 4s, but I mean they're exciting, man. I'm excited. I'm just as excited about the Legends in a totally different way. They don't beat and bang, but they race. I mean, and these guys you can't touch. You know, they're open wheel cars, so you can't really touch.
But they
and
race
do that.
hard.
And they race great. You know, and you got the guys who won races with us last year. James Folds won the championship. You got Ethan Troll. He's coming back. Ethan's, I believe, got the most upgraded motor, for the deal. James Folds been working on upgrading his program and continuing to get faster. Chris Lilly, Shannon Doyle only has a couple of races. I figure we'll see him a little more often this year. That could very well lead to a really good championship battle just amongst those three. And there's some other guys coming. Scott Heath is a new guy who races a UMP mod at Winchester and Potomac, and he's from Bedford, so he's this is his home track deal. We don't have no UMP mods. We're not dirt, but he's got a Legends car. He'll be racing with us. He's actually tested this week, and trying to get his car dialed in for the track. And there's some other people that have been buying cars and building cars. Nathan Wheat, obviously at the end of the year, Nathan and Ryan, they both got good cars. And they're both going to contend for wins this year. Ryan, if he can ever get the looseness of his car, if he can ever get that thing just tightened up enough, he's fast. If he can ever get that thing tightened up just enough to where he can hang on to it, I mean, them guys might have to be riding behind him.
I think the Legends division's really going to take off. It was racy this year, but I think next year the returning guys and the new guys, I think it's just going to add that much more of excitement, of the older versus the newer, and guys with new cars and getting their cars set up correctly.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, to think that was the first full year for the Legends.
It was a good one.
It was. Inaugural champion, James Folds. He'll be at the banquet getting his championship hardware. Another division, while we're on divisions and not talking about the banquet specifically here, the late model division. We've made some changes to it, altered it around, got rid of the super streets as far as like a regular division. Some of them guys are going to be racing in the late models, and we're shaping up to be a pretty good year. Matt Lawrence, son of Jason Lawrence, he won a race with us last year. He's planning on coming and running, I believe, full time. You got Jeff Deering, who's registered to run this year. Dakota Walls, Kyle Dudley, Tyler Ashley's going to run some part time in the late models. Jimmy Mullins, I'm sure, is going to run some races, if not full time. Even though he'd much rather be in the Super Street division, that kind of fits his style. He's those cars kick it out loose, and he's an old dirt racer, so that fits him. Fits him really good. But we got Darren Cochran planning on running. I don't know how many races he'll run. He's busy with his towing company, and I think he bought a body shop or something, so he's keeping himself well busy, but he'll be at the track some, racing with us, and I think the late models is shaping up to have a pretty good. Jesse Arrington, I forgot to mention him, championship contender last year, missed the last race and missed the championship opportunity. Jonathan Hall, who was the champion this year, forgot about him over here, and he'll be back, trying to defend his title. There's a lot of those guys, man. There's a lot of cars. If we could ever get them all at one time, last year we just kind of, it was like we were pecking, getting a car here and a car there, and
5
hopefully
or 6
this year
one day, 3, 4 the next.
Yeah, hopefully we have no more 3-4s and we can just get 8, 10, 12, and continue to build that. We're trying to keep like the rules that are this year. Long as nothing's out of balance, we plan on keeping those rules going forward into 2025. Same thing with the stock 4s. We've got their rules to where we need to 2025. We're going to continue cleaning up the mini stock rules a little bit, but they'll basically stay the same heading into 2025. And the Legends cars, they don't really change. And that's why that's why a division like the Legends grows so much, not just here but everywhere. Is you have the same rules every year. They know what to expect. You ain't going to buy a car and then they're going to change the rules, and that's something that we've got to be better at. As a racetrack, we've got to not change rules, and try. Every time you try to make it cheaper, you cost the racer more money, and I'm trying not to make it cheaper because I don't want to cost them any more money. Didn't mention the mini stocks yet, but mini stock division's also looking like they're going to have a really good year. I think I maybe mentioned this on the last podcast, but Brittany Cockrum's going to be racing with us more this year. She says, you'll have Josh Phillips back. He's getting the itch. Seen on Facebook, he's getting the itch, ready to go. Thomas Parmalee. I don't know whether Thomas will drive or Jonathan Hall will drive his car. Dennis Holdren's got another car. Pops has always got a couple cars that he brings. Got a bunch of guys, and then plus the guys that race with us all year, Wes Goff and David Duncan, and all those guys. I'm going to forget 30 of them here.
And Gary Fitzgerald.
Yeah, Gary Fitzgerald. The Fitzgerald Phillips rivalry will probably live on. Jason Campbell, this year's Rookie of the Year. He'll be back. He'll be back next year. This year, and got a bunch of those guys though. And Eddie Nestor, talked to him. He's a motor mile guy, but he's planning on coming down and running a couple of races. And there's a bunch of those cars. We're not really picking up a lot from Motor Mile. Been trying to get Doodle to commit to say he was going to come race with us, but ain't got no such commitment there. Doodle Lang be a great addition to that division though.
He likes sitting in the grandstands watching it all.
Oh yeah. Well, and I'm not saying this to insult nor to draw him out. Hopefully it does, but I'm not saying it for that purpose. But he likes to sit up in the grandstands and talk about how fast he is. Okay, well, opportunities here, bud. I mean, the rules are perfectly matched for the Carolina guys. Like Jesse Yop, who will race with us, periodically, but runs the Carolina Challenge Series. We got a Carolina Challenge Series at the beginning of the year, March 30th. But the rules are matched between there and the Motor Mile rules, and there's no reason for anybody not to race. You can't say, well, my car don't fit the rules, or I ain't gonna be able to race with them. Nope. We have the perfect set of rules. I mean, we're gonna continue to make them better, by cleaning them up. But this is a perfect world where we've, put these two sets of rules together, and got a bunch of people in mini stocks. That's just, Jonathan Simachek. I seen him trying to sell his late model, trying to get him a mini stock, and I don't know. But then I seen he was getting work done to his late. So I don't know what he's doing, but I mean, he'd be a good addition back in the division, and
yeah, he'd be good back in the mini stocks.
Every now and then I talk to Tanner Young, and Tanner, he wants to bring the old red 33 car. It's a floor pan car. He wants to bring it out and show that it can still win, and it definitely can. We had some floor pans win this past year. Narrowing down to 4 divisions is really, the closer we get to the season and the more people that start talking and we talk to them and, find out, man, it's just really, it's putting everybody. Jason Garwood, he went down and ran Freedom Factory this past weekend and had a good run. He's working on his Franklin County car. I don't know that he'll make every race. He's from Wilkesboro.
I actually talked to him last week. He absolutely loves the racetrack. He said, I wish there were more racetracks like y'all's.
Yeah. Well, everybody likes a little redneckery every now and then,
Yeah, it's a lot of redneckery.
Hey, but that's what, man, redneckery's fun. I mean, it is. I mean, that's why, these big mud bog events, that's why they sell out. You know what I mean? Sell major tickets and get a $100 ticket, and people are buying them things up. And I mean, that's why. So
the thing is,
people enjoy it.
We're not really straight laced. You're not going to come in there and we're just all business. We're there to have a good time, just like you guys are.
Yep.
We want the event to go on without hiccups, but we're there to have a good time.
Yeah, I mean, when when you get down to race time, we're all business. I mean, we're
Yes.
all of our guys, from Jay Altizer down, all these guys, they plan on being all about business and making sure that things go off right. But everything in between, we're laid back and we're there to have a good time, and we're not trying to stress you out. And that's what it's all about. Our days are shorter than most racetracks. We're not trying to have you practice 400,000 laps and single car qualify for 2 hours or whatever the heck these people do, and we're not into all that, but we're into having a good time and just building a good thing here. We're in the building process of this. This 56-year-old racetrack. This is our 5th consecutive season. 2020, 2021, 2, 3. Yeah, our 5th consecutive season here. We started back.
Do you need to take your shoes off to count that?
I mean, if I was like Barry Wilson and had missing a couple fingers, I might.
Oh goodness.
He won't hear it, so it don't matter. But we're in the building process, and everything we're doing is to rebuild, the racetrack and rebuild the grandstands and rebuild, the pit area back up and everything. And we hit a homer every now and then, but we're there to continue to build. And I think narrowing it down to 4 classes is going to help us continue to build. We've got the Knights of Destruction stuff. Their rules came out, and I mean you don't get any simpler than the rules that we put out. I think there was 8 or 9 rules for each division, and then the main rule was to have fun. So we're going to do that, and we haven't announced our Sunday Fun Day events. We're going to have a couple of them throughout the year. Just haven't narrowed down when they're going to be. They'll probably be spring, fall, somewhere in that neighborhood. Just to have a little bit of fun with the enduro cars, 4-cylinder enduros. People are pretty excited about the 4-cylinder enduros. I think we talked about it on the last podcast. I've had a lot of people reach out about it, and now that the rules are out, and I mean they don't get any simpler than stock. Tires, just DOT tires, 60 minimum series, and
Your race
400
helmet.
400 treadwear minimum. That's the old any car thing, seatbelt, helmet, and no brains. And I mean that sort of applies to this because that's how
Sorta.
simple it is.
Yes.
You got to have a window net, whether that's usable or bolted in. But I think it. I think the 4-cylinder enduro. I was talking to a guy today about the 4-cylinder enduro. He got him a new stock 4, and he was talking about selling his car, and I was like, "Don't sell your car, man. Is everything stock in it?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I've kept it stock." And I'm like, "Hey, fix the camber and go race that 4-cylinder enduro, man. You can win $1,000 the first race, $1,000 the second race, and $2,000 on the third race. And we may escalate those purses if we get as many cars as I think we have the potential to get. We may continue to raise them. I'd love to. We tried to have a $10,000 to win race a couple of years ago, and everything from Mother Nature to COVID tried to eliminate that, and did. We kind of had to give up on it. So I want to do a big race like that, and maybe 4 cylinders is the way to go and the way to get these guys in there. I don't know. But anyways, we are 38 minutes into this thing, so I'm gonna wrap it up. But in closing, Banquet, February 24th. The deadline is this weekend to get tickets. So if you're a fan out there and you're listening to this podcast and you go, man, I really like to go to that banquet. It sounds like a good time. I can hoot and holler and laugh at all the good awards and fun times that they have. Hey, hit us up.
And have a good dinner.
Oh, and a good dinner. Pork barbecue or fried chicken this year. Got some good sides coming. Got dessert coming. Never know. You never know what you might get there. But it's coming up. And then the day after that, we've got an open practice for every one of our divisions. And then we have the first race the following Saturday, the Teddy's Water Winter Thaw. Excited about that. Had a new sponsor come on yesterday, United Rentals. They've come on board for us for the year. Got a bunch of sponsor announcements coming up over the next 2 or 3 weeks leading into the opener, and even past that with some deals we're working on. But really, really excited about the direction that everything's going for this year, and looking forward to getting a guest back on hopefully next week if we can get everything ironed back out. But we wanted to make sure, hey, we got us an episode for Wednesday morning. This is a Tuesday night record again, up past Kimberly's bedtime. I mean, it's 9:18, but I mean, she goes to bed at like 4:30, so I had to wake her up and say, hey, come up here and talk to me. And I think she's done okay to be, as tired as she is.
I think you're a little backwards. I'm up at like 4:30 every morning.
I'm not.
No, you're not.
I don't see no. Well, I see 4:30 in the afternoon. I don't see none of that 4:30 in the morning. Well, I have before. I was up playing Madden or NASCAR or something, but I'm not seeing it any other way. Or if I at a race, at Tyler County Speedway, whatever. That's another story for another day, though.
Yes.
But appreciate you guys listening, and we'll be back next Wednesday with another episode of the Pit Chatter Podcast. Be sure to share us, like us, all that good stuff, and let us know what you think.